Dokodaga da frakite pokotolo kota laba kanenevi enchkenigi ige dibikite paya. Rodinga nangan sukotora nanga gedi bifi hin sukokotolo profit evi enge gidi ba. Erinaga, sodadegi, egedibo, oradaga, aganini. Many are concerned about the future, and they wonder what will happen. Will darkness overtake, or will the light shine bright? Yea, saith the Lord of hosts, remember that you're in my hands, and remember that I know the future better than you know the past.
Give a pallet act of grat those Scojalamangra. Talagrosto, Veligos Scojalaman, Gera alla Cangra diosto, Solamangra di la Hatta. Except the word is spoken through you. Except the word resides in you. The world will dominate you. But I've given you the word to build you, and that you might speak it and give it forth and pave your path, saith the Lord. That's what I said in other tongues.
Somebody might still say, speaking in tongues is speaking, or is speaking the revelation or the word from God to the church. But let's look at this. Apostle Paul in verse 6 of the same book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, he says, now, brethren, if I come unto you speaking with tongues, what shall I profit you? Right? Then he says, except I shall speak to you either by revelation or by knowledge or by prophesying or by doctrine. So the reality is what God communicate to people, to men, to the church, he speaks by revelation or by knowledge or by prophesying or by doctrine, teaching, right? And he does that in the language that is understood, because he says if he speaks in tongues, doing these things, these four things, which is prophesying, which is doctrine, which is revelation and knowledge, if he speaks that in tongue, how shall that profit those who are listening? Therefore, God speaks these things in a language that is understood. But verse 16 says, else, when thou shalt bless with the Spirit, right? Now he's talking about when you are blessing food, when you are blessing or giving thanks for food. And you do that with the Spirit. He says, how shall he that occupy the room or of the unlearned, right? How shall he that occupied the room of the unlearned say amen at thy giving of thanks, seeing he understandeth not what thou sayest, right? For thou verily givest thanks well, but the other is not edified. Do you hear this? But the other is not edified. How is he edified if this what you say is something that the person doesn't understand? He is edified if he understands what you are saying, but what you are saying is a giving of thanks. It's a communication of you to God. It is not a communication of God to you, because you're the one who's giving thanks, but he is edified by you giving of thanks, right? Why? Because of what you are saying to God. So again, I emphasize on this point that the interpretation thereof should be the interpretation as though he is, or I am the one who's speaking to God, not as if it is God who's speaking to me or through me to the church. What edifies the people is what I say to God.
So you start speaking like little baby words and say them as fast as you humanly can.
Berekesto, oleman gelema handelege, bo fredino unkindashe, stelle pero como blavadero. Crema andalo como po, mare clanglo, boble e kemplino, mare vale campara. La delgo plumomino teleashkepe.
Nothing but the truth. The truth.